We took this guy from $25,000 a month to consistent 6 figures a month, all because we took control of his tiny personal brand. Meet Fraser. We did this all without cold outreach. We did this all without paid ads. It was all because of a simple content strategy and an even simpler content funnel. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how we did it so you can duplicate it for your own offer. Let's get into it. Let's jump straight into the proof. So this was 90 days into the journey. He closed around $100,000 worth of deals. At this point, 9 months into the journey, he made his X account into a lead gen machine, not even including his LinkedIn. His LinkedIn is popping as well. And at this point, he has a consistent lead generation machine. He is the go-to individual in his niche for performance creatives. And I'm going to show you guys the exact content strategy that we use to help him actually reach this point. But before we get there, let me show you who I am. I'm the Wiz of Ecom, aka Mubu, and I fast-tracked hundreds of agency owners, founders, executives, info product owners, CMOs, anything that you can imagine in the business niche, and to the go-to authorities in their space. We have it down to a science. And before I actually walk you guys through the strategy, I need you to understand the state of where he was at before so you understand why we implemented this strategy. So back in the day, he had a few thousand followers, but he was stuck getting no consistent leads. His situation before working with me is he wanted to become this go-to authority in the niche. He wanted, when the moment someone thinks about performance creatives, he wanted to be the first option to pop up. He didn't want to be an option like everyone else where you're competing for attention. He knew he wanted to have all the people in the space trust him, but he struggled to do so because he had no idea what to post and he couldn't keep up with the algorithms, and nor did he know how to optimize the strategy. So his goals were very simple. We knew that he wanted to become this leader, but right now none of his content was actually leading the pack. He was following other people's winners. He would only be seen as another option in the industry with his content. So what he tried before was different content styles that his competitors were doing. Then his tweets would go and hit a brick wall and get no engagement, or his posts on LinkedIn would completely flop. They wouldn't generate leads or book calls. He was posting too much of granular value or some value that is way too top of funnel that people didn't care for, and no one would remember him. Like, think about this. If you were to close your eyes today and you read out someone's content and you couldn't recognize them, then they're not an actual authority. They haven't actually built a strong enough brand, and that was the route he was going under. So what was wrong with the other options? Well, people hire people, right? Not just knowledge. Knowledge is a commodity these days. With so many competitors, everyone's mastering very similar arts. Technical content will not make you stand out, and that's what happens. So when he only posted about creative breakdowns, it was nurturing and not showing opinions or thoughts or a story and how he's scaling and is building in public. Remember, we're building a personal brand here, and he had no personal element. It wasn't really Fraser. It was just a theme page of him. So what was he worried about before working with us? He was worried about not having another lead source. His main lead source came from Facebook groups, and he wanted to scale to the next point. But then in the next 90 days, he was able to close over $100,000 worth of deals. And let me show you exactly how. So we started off with an interview. Here were the exact interview questions I asked him, word for word. You guys can take all of these. So the first thing we did was interview him on every single detail about his offer, his story, his experience and case studies. So we had questions like, run me through your typical day. What is your story or your main milestones from your starting point to where you are right now? What are some accomplishments of yours that would make for a good headline? What are some of your successes? What are some stories or anecdotes? Walk me through your entire story of all the big milestone moments that you had in your life. And our goal was to extract all this information and come up with a ton of topics. He also shared multiple assets over of case studies, and we leveraged all this information to create a content strategy around three main pillars. Pillar number one is authoritative content. Pillar number two is technical, and pillar number three is story. All three of these different content pillars had different objectives, right? The story-based content was to nurture followers, but at the same time attract new followers so people can see that he is being transparent and he's building in public. Then the authoritative content showed the world that they can trust this individual, that Fraser is posting value around areas that he has an expertise in. And then technical content was about 33% of the strategy, which was just technical breakdowns. So I'm going to show you some examples. Some of the authoritative content that we had for Fraser was him actually showing off results or showing off case studies. So these are promotional posts. However, we also had case studies being pushed on his account where he showed, hey, this DTC brand spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on our one creative because it worked. Here's the breakdown of that actual creative. Then there's the technical content where we created a series for Fraser called Static Ads Edition, and it's called Static Ads DTC Edition, where he every single week is posting the same breakdown, but with new performance creatives and a new simple breakdown right over here, but following this series title. And then from there on top of that, he he's also breaking down other technical aspects of the journey, for example, reviews and customer feedback and other frequently asked questions his perfect prospect has. And last but not least is his story-based content. This is what set Fraser apart from everybody else in the space. Everyone can have authoritative content, everyone can have technical content, but the story content for Fraser is where people understood that he's human. Right? He's showing, look, this is it. The final week of our old office. Going to be sad leaving this place. Over 7 years coming to work here. People engage with this. People are rooting for him. He's like a Netflix series that people are following along. And he's showing behind the scenes into his life. He's showing his sleepless nights. He's showing that he was gone through a very tough period mentally, but he overcame it. And the entire funnel that we followed over here was simple. The top of the funnel to attract followers was hot takes, stories, experiences, and motivation. His middle of funnel was authority content, case studies, and video content. And then the bottom of the funnel was promotions into his email list. And this is how he's been able to launch other products profitably as well as scale his own agency. So I wanted people to follow his account as a Netflix series. He was putting out technical posts on the regular, and that just gave so much predictable value that was boring. But the story-based content is where people could connect with him on his character art. So we made him stand out by using his own voice. That's what we need, alongside with his own unique positioning, which is creatives are the new targeting. So we created a custom strategy for him with all the hooks, all the topics, all the ideas, and we optimized it bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, by identifying the winners and losers using our winning optimization method. And that's how a couple months ago, he just closed a $60,000 deal. So what does that optimization process actually look like? Well, we use a software that we created internally for ourselves. This is a proprietary tech that we're not sharing publicly. I'm able to see every single winning topic, every single losing topic, what tweets did the best based off impressions, based off likes, when they were actually created. And on a bi-weekly basis, I have my team go into his account and all of his competitors' niches, because I can organize this and filter this based off of specific niches. And we're looking at what topics were working, what topics were flopping. And this is what accounts for 50% of his new topic. Then we also mix them with new tests, because we always want to be incubating new ideas through thorough market research. I don't want any of my clients to be the ones who are following the trends. I want them to use that as a winning baseline. Then on top of that, always be incubating new ideas to test out. And we get weekly analytics from him and optimize the content based off the performance. And we get weekly analytics from him to optimize the content based off performance. Like if I can see that he has low link clicks on that week or low impressions, I know I can optimize it. So Fraser originally wanted to fix his lead flow, and that's what we initially came in to do. Now we're essentially his in-house content strategist for his entire freaking personal brand. He doesn't need to worry about that side of his business anymore. So the same strategy that took Fraser from $25K a month to 6 figures a month will work for you. All you need to do is get eyes on your top of funnel so you can insert yourself into the space as the go-to authority. Then you got to make your connections with the right people that will show your strategies to the right audience. Then create a custom content strategy. Write the content that hooks people in, optimize it, revise it, and revisit it, and come up with new tests and keep doubling down on what's working. Then from there, make sure all the content pieces are falling into the right funnel and utilizing all the 18 different content types to guarantee results. I have these 18 content types. The video is going to be in the description below, and then you guys can see all of those and implement them for your brand. Now, in order for you to do all of the above, you have to optimize all your content based on your offer and positioning, come up with content ideas that attract the right people, write content that isn't boring or leaves you as just like this other option in the space, quality check the content, come up with new hooks, ideas, topics, and routinely post. Or we can do it all for you. We have done this for hundreds of the top personal brands in the space, multi-7, multi-8, and 9-figure founders, agency owners, CEOs are hiring us because we handle the end-to-end journey for you. We will create your entire strategy. We will use that entire strategy to create a list of content for you. We will write the content, we'll design it, and all you got to do is approve it and then post it. It will take you 30 minutes on a weekly basis. We are consistently working with the best names in the space because they know we are demonstrating results that are better than anybody else in the space. I have done it for myself. I've made $5 million with my own personal brand. I've grown to over 200,000 followers. I have experience in this space, and I've consistently done this for the top names in the space. If you want help, click the link below, book a call, and let's chat, and I can go ahead and get you on the interview immediately and go ahead and start creating your content strategy. Just click the link below, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Take it easy, everybody.